Cracked me up. I mean, he had dreadlocks like that, almost the shit down to his ass almost. He had some freaking dreads going on. Girls loved him. God,
Really?
what? It's crazy about how good-looking white girls love dudes with dreadlocks. I never understood it.
What?
But man, those dudes with dreadlocks would just pull them, and didn't have any hair anywhere. I was always like, God, I need to get some dreadlocks.
I've never had dreadlocks.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
No,
I'd have to
me
wash
neither.
my hair.
I know.
You know, you ready to go?
Dude, I'm ready. It's been a while. We're back. It's good to be back.
We've had a run.
We got a legend with
We've
us
had
today.
that's what I'm saying. We've had a run of good quality guests, not bottom of the barrels.
Yeah,
I'm talking about top notch guys.
I know.
Yeah, I mean with Frenzy a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no
you
doubt.
now, and I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass, but I regularly tell people that in our business, you're the guy we chase. Brian King,
Come on now.
BK. I'm serious. I'm serious. I know Dave probably don't want me to say it, but you are. You're really good at everything we do.
Well, I'm glad you guys see it that way.
You do.
I don't.
You're so fucking rigged up. Nobody's ever as rigged up as you. Who else feeds their pigfish?
Well, were we supposed to talk about that?
Oh man, that's an old Florida trick, right? That would be like feeding the goggle eyes, right?
That's exactly where it came from.
Oh, okay.
He's got a son son is in the business with him. You can't compete with him. And
Is he your mate?
no,
No,
he's just
he works on a charter boat in the summer and has his own rig and
Okay.
goes out and does his own thing pretty much every day he can. So.
he also does your thing too, doesn't he? I mean,
He used to catch my bait for me, but now he doesn't. So that's fine. I catch my own now.
Anyway, Brian King, we're gonna get the whole story, but you're gonna lead off. Now I've pumped you up. I need you to bring yourself down.
No problem.
Tell the embarrassing story, which is probably the number one thing people like. The only reason they like listening to this because we're so good at self-deprecating.
Yeah, I get you on that. So I guess probably one of the most embarrassing moments that I've had since I've been traveling and fishing. I was on the Dyfkin with Peter Wright over in Australia.
Another dude that's been to Australia.
Yeah. God
And,
rest your right soul.
Yep, no doubt. But that was a big job for me, big name, big deal for me to be on that boat. It was my first season, and we were out on the reef with the mothership, for probably a couple weeks at that time, and we had to go to Cooktown and provision, get some fuel and parts and stuff like that, and change oil. So we went into town and docked up against the bulkhead and got fuel. And long story short, I got done changing oil. Pete was in town, and I had to move the boat, and it was blowing.
Oh yeah.
And there's current.
Yeah, there is.
And I was like, yeah, I can do it. No problem. And it didn't work out too good. I tried to pull off of the mothership with the game boat. That's what they call them over there, game boats. But anyway, I got pinched and pushed up against there and couldn't get out of it and did some cosmetic damage to the hull. And
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was huge. I mean, I was mortified. Just like, worst moment ever in my life, I thought at the time.
Worried about losing the job.
No, just getting a chewing from hell. But anyway,
Probably some eyes.
Oh my, yeah, everybody was around, and everybody on the
First season.
mothership. Yes, and anyway, it was, just crunched in the vents a little bit and did some paint damage. Anyway, got tied up to the mothership after they turned around, and I ran back into town, to find Pete. Like, I wasn't letting him come to the boat and, see it or deal with it. I was going to run to the source and, hey, look, I really screwed up. And I found him and told him, just ready to take it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how bad is it? And I said, me and Dave can definitely fix it. The other mate, I said, it's cosmetic and, but, I dinged the mothership and I tore the vents up on the boat. It's a big deal to me, and I'm really sorry. And I was just waiting for just major ass chewing. And he's like, all right, well, I guess the best thing to do is from now on, when we're pulling away from any dock or mothership or anything, you're going to do it, and I'm going to stand next to you till we get it right.
That's
I was
cool.
like, really?
That's Peter.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
And he could drive a boat like nobody.
Yeah, I
man.
mean, he's one of those guys you read
So
about in
it was like
magazines.
the worst thing in the world at the time, and it was so embarrassing because everybody was watching.
Yeah, and this is Peter B. Wright. I mean, arguably
Like,
the
yes.
greatest captain in history.
Yeah, no
he's a
doubt.
Marlin magazine
No doubt.
every month in Marlin magazine.
Yeah.
Charles Perry status.
Oh yeah, well he taught Charles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, him and Charles were,
Even I know.
So
Yeah,
that
okay.
was
I was letting
I
our viewers
wrecked the
know.
boat. I crashed. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
It was terrible to me.
No, it's horrible. Bad
Yeah.
feeling.
It was the worst, and I just
Done plenty of dumb shit.
take it, man. Take it on the chin.
Yep, I've been there. I did that once at the fishing center.
You're gonna do it.
I'm trying to think. It's been like 04, 05. Front came through at the fishing center. I ride from offshore was trying to get in, blowing 49 to 50 out of the northwest. And I mean, when guys were trying to get in their slips, and dude that used to run the CJ4, he's not running.
CJ4.
Yeah, that was the boat. I'm not going to say his name. He still lives here. Got sideways, and the wind took him right down the edge of the boats.
Oh my god!
Yeah, man, just taking shit off, man.
Once it gets
it
wet,
was-
man, it gets worse.
He couldn't miss the slip, and the wind just couldn't get the bow to come back around, and the wind, man, just turned him and just started pushing him right down the bow of other guys' boats. It was surreal to watch.
That's a good captain, though. You think about that, and I had a similar experience. What Dickie was letting me try the Fantastic, put in the fuel dock, and I got Southwester. I got her sideways, and like up against the stern was like up against the front of the fuel dock, and the bow was up in the Miss Oregon Inlet. Look, there were pilings, but I mean, she was pinned, and Tom Krause had to come in there, and we had to throw a rope on the bow and pull us out, and Dickie got us back in. But Charles Haywood, of all people, came up to me and he said, "Get back up there and do it again."
Yeah.
Don't worry about don't be
Yeah.
embarrassed. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it, and do it again. I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm never ever driving a boat again.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch the steering wheel. And he said, get back up there and do it again, because that's the only way you learn. So hats off to Peter B for that. You know what I mean?
no
That's
doubt.
pretty cool.
Al Barty never took the helm again when they were trying to teach him to back in. Tony was trying to teach him to back into Carolina, and he took the piling down. He said, "I'm done. I'm back. I'm done." That's the only time he ever tried to put a big boat in the slip, I think.
Yeah, I've already taken a piling out too.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been around, you're going to be aground, and you're going to.
Yeah.
That's a recurring theme on here. Big boats are going to be aground, and
It's just going to happen.
we're going to do something stupid. We're going to aground nonstop.
Well, we got there's salt treated pilings at the fishing center now, where they used to be those tar ones, and they had some give. They would bend. Now, if you hit one of those salt treated ones wrong, she just busts.
Yeah.
So you got to be even more careful. But how about, so do we need to do background story?
Yeah, I want to hear it. I'm sure other people like to hear it. I mean, dude just shows up one day and he's at the top of the game for us in the little boats. Guy comes in and just all of a sudden he's like, I'm glad I'm not docked next to him. I am. I mean, that crew
I
over
think
there.
my brother-in-law ties up next to you. I hear about it a
I
lot.
feel bad. His brother-in-law's Chris McDonald.
Chris. First Light?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, he's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
Yeah, no
Love
doubt.
Chris.
Nobody wants to be docked.
But he's always like, yeah, I feel like next to DK. It's just, no matter what I do.
Work hard at it and get lucky every now and then.
Where'd you grow up? Delaware?
Grew up in Indian River, Delaware. Started working on a charter boat in junior high, all through high school, and then graduated in '91 and went straight to the Florida Keys. Actually, right out of high school, I went to Stewart and got my captain's license at Chapman School of Seamanship, and then went back to Delaware that summer and started working on a charter boat, and then traveled through the winter time wherever I needed to go to keep fishing. Wound up in Hatteras somewhere around 93 or 4. Started working on a citation, and then that's where I met Peter Wright, and during that tuna,
Bluefin stuff.
that crazy tuna.
Yeah, you were there for the.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody that was anybody around the world was flocking to Hatteras to get on a boat or run a boat to see what that was all about. So I got to meet a lot of those guys, and once I met them, I got lucky, and there was an opportunity to go with Pete. So then that's where I started. Really left and went to Australia for a couple seasons, and went to Cape Verde with him, and then worked with a couple other captains traveling for a long time, and then wound up in Hatteras again. And
That's where I met
02.
you. I met you and you were running a boat in Hatteras, I think.
Yeah, so '02, I spent 2 years in the boat shop building that 65 Island Boat Works.
Uh-huh.
And then I ran that for 11 years.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
And then pulled a couple seasons at Pirates Cove and woke up one day and said, I'm over it.
over.
I mean, like, done.
Like a done getting up at 3:00.
No,
Done?
I was like, I'm done. I want to, I want to go trout and drum fishing now. And I just walked away.
Me too.
I swear.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I was done. I was done from the first time I ever did it. That was different. But we didn't talk about this with Frenzy because you were in Hatteras during the bluefin back in the
I was
mid
there.
'90s.
Yeah, so I can't exactly remember, but I was there for the 2 seasons. It was just going.
Yeah, when you
off.
threw chicken bones.
Yeah, you really could.
Set the boat limit of a dozen catch and release. That was what we were doing.
Yeah, I don't know if we had a limit, but I mean, you had your angler in the chair strapped in, ready to rock and roll with the bait on the hook before the boat even shut down. He threw a handful and then the bait, and you were on.
It was.
I mean, it was crazy.
One of the coolest things you've ever seen.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, just doing silly stuff.
And that was, it's interesting how sport fish, you talk about people coming from all over the world, how that, heavy tackle fishing is not what it used to be. You know what I mean? Like you had anglers and drag junkies coming in to do that kind of fishing, and now it's a numbers game.
Yes, it is.
More than getting in the chair, strapping in, catching, all day fishing for one bite as far as a blue marlin goes, or coming and seeing how many bluefins you can catch, how you can stand. I mean, I think Stuart Campbell caught like 80 one day in a day.
72.
72. He set the record for that many in a day on 50-pound, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe.
No, it was on the regular heavy tackle, with the 200-pound top shot, and it was on. Peter was on the boat running the boat that day, and that was that one rod called Sweat. I mean, it was like an unlimited rod, so it was all heavy tackle.
Okay,
but that's the deal, man. Everybody from around the world that was heavy tackle junkie was in Hatteras.
Yeah.
We didn't get Frenzy to talk about it because I've made it for him on a world record fly trip, which probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen before. Why would you try to catch one on a fly rod? We were on it for 5.5 hours before finally the reel just exploded.
Really?
Gave away. And it was a straight gaff. Yeah. Yeah, the guy was trying to set a record.
Yeah, you would have had to straight gaff.
It was straight gaff.
Yes, you
got one shot after like 4.5 hours. Barely a shot where I stuck him in the tail and he about ripped my shoulder out of my socket and came off the gaff. And I mean, that's ridiculous. And at the end of the fight, the guy's on his knees. Both hands are bleeding from trying to palm the drag. And finally the reel failed. The reel just came apart. And it's like, it's cool. And then like after an hour, you're going, all right, man, let's do this. And then 2 hours in, you're starting to look at your watch. And then as the sun's starting to creep down, you're going, oh man, we're going to be here forever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even that. Well, that's the thing you talk about, and even still, I mean, now it's not necessarily on the wrecks and Hatters, but we still have a pretty legitimate heavy tackle fishery for bluefins, But we don't see it's jiggers and poppers that come, and you don't have a clientele that wants to come and strap in and see what they're made of. You know what I mean, so to speak, and which I think is kind of unfortunate because I mean, it's still can be really good out there.
What's good is that you still have a wintertime fishery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whereas some of us don't have a wintertime fishery anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we don't have the charters to, we don't have the weather and we don't have enough charters to make it a wintertime charter fishery like we used to have a certain wintertime charter fishery.
Which one, yours or mine?
No, we don't talk about
the ones we don't talk about.
Yeah, you had a great charter business in the winter.
We don't talk about them.
I got it.
Voldemort.
Huh?
They're Voldemort.
I got you.
Yeah,
white marlin are starting to get like that too. I don't talk.
What'd you do? Catch a white one the other day?
I did
in April.
Yeah,
pretty work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny. No, nothing like that. I was giving the guys on the way out in the morning a hard time on the radio because everybody's talking about their white marlin baits, and we haven't caught white marlins in what 5 or 6 years now. Good,
Right.
10, 15 bite days. And they're like, oh, well, you caught a white marlin today. Well, last year we caught one April 8th, 1 year to almost a year to the day. And, this time last year, and it didn't help us much for the fall either.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's
with
your. When I was talking to you, I'm getting the idea. That's your thing too. You keep records. You know what day you've caught something, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm anal about it. I've
I
always.
mean, I don't keep like anal records, but I keep up with it.
I like to go back and look and see.
Mostly with the pictures and the dates on them.
I know
And I
that.
can remember.
I write
what
down.
that
I write
day
down a
was
little
like.
more stuff, but it's cool. It's neat
Yeah.
to kind of get an idea of what you should be doing or what you used to be doing, or why aren't we doing it this way now?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I should do more of it and be more detailed with it so I can look back, if I'm having a tough day.
What it does
which
for
I
me is
do.
it just allows me to wow them because I don't have the skill set that a lot of you guys have.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
I'm allowed to just wow them with this, this nonstop.
What I want to know, BK, is as far because Donnie said you kind of and because I remember you in Hatteras, and then all of a sudden I hear you're running an inshore boat here. So how did you get? Was it a learning curve as far as the knowledge of the sound? Have you fished up here your whole life? Or had you fished up in this area a while? I know you had inshore experience from probably the Keys and Florida,
Yeah.
and doing it, so you kind of knew what you had to do and how to catch them. But how was it, as far as because I've thought a lot about doing what you guys do one day,
And I shut him right down.
And
He wanted to. He said,
well,
I said,
I
not
just
a fucking chance, Jack. You're
I
taking the helm
don't.
on
I
our
know.
rig.
I mean, I'm happy to admit I know nothing about the sound. I'd go to the bridge and cast for stripers. You know what I mean? Like I just don't know. I don't know where the sloughs are. I don't know where the what flats are what flats. I don't know. You say so and so shoal, and I'm like where? Or Duck Island. I'm like,
But that's all right.
There's a bunch of islands.
That's
out there.
endemic in our fleet right now.
Okay. Well,
Saying things like that and somebody going, "What? Where's that?"
yeah.
don't know
Well,
where that is.
if I did it, I would like to know. So that's what would be my question to you was: Did you go out and learn it? Did you have somebody teach you? Did you?
I just went in with, everything I had. If I wasn't booked, I went out fishing.
Right.
And I'm still learning now, so if
Oh,
that means anything.
Yeah,
like,
because
I'm
we're in a
learning-
constant. Everything's changing. I
Yeah.
mean, at a rate that I've
Yeah.
never seen it change.
Yeah,
And
I'm learning more now than before because I'm starting to put it together, a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Well, I mean, it's like Dickie Harris. Dickie always used to say to me, I mean, 40. This will be his 44th year at Oregon Inlet and something. And I mean,
Wow.
every day he'll say the more I do it, the less I know. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
if you're a good captain with a good record, I think any captain that has been doing it a long time would say that. You know what I mean? You learn every single day.
Yeah, I'm still learning. For
we're
sure.
fortunate in the respect that, and something I always preach, to get pretty good at our job, you got to fish when you're not fishing.
And I do.
Yeah, you do. And,
Like,
and the
Too
guys,
much. I burn up a lot of fuel and time.
I understand, but
You know what I mean?
it pays. It pays up. And unfortunately, I mean, just because logistics of y'all's business, you guys can't do that. You have to learn on the job every time you go.
Yeah.
Where we can run around and scout, do a lot of scouting, and you scout it
Yeah.
for a few
But
times, and
even
it doesn't
so, I
pan
mean,
out, then we're not going to do
It's a big sound out there.
It's
you know,
huge.
It is. It's big.
huge.
And there's probably spots that no one knows. There's probably a spot right now that the trout are holed up in ass deep and nobody knows about
I did,
it,
and I found a spot like that the other day by accident, and I was like, "We're gonna try this for a little bit," and it wound up turning out to be great. And I'm like, "Wow, man!" Right there underneath my nose the whole time.
That's cool.
That's
Cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm following you. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I was drifting the bank a couple years ago with Chris Gornell. Like, I mean, neither one of us have a clue about the sound. It didn't even look like anything, but all of a sudden it looked at the machine and it dipped down right there. It was like a little hole right against the bank, and like we just started crushing 3 and 4 pound trout. You know what I mean? And it's like whoa, like, you just out there doing it, and there they were.
Cool. Let's take a break. We got to go to our sponsor.
It is cool.
I just got a text. My boat's hanging pretty bad,
Well, that's
so
cool.
tell this guy to loosen it up.
Okay.
then
But it was cool.
The tide.
I want to hear more about your coolness.
No, that's the only time I've ever caught trout in the Sound.
I wasn't even listening to you.
No.
All right, going to our sponsor. We have a sponsor.
TW's Bait and Tackle.
That's who it is. They've been really good to us.
Yep.
No doubt.
And then we'll come back and you're going to have a question for a giveaway.
Right,
I think
cool.
Chris has given us another reel. Reels are working out great. They're a lot cheaper for us to ship than ours.
I got you.
All right,
Right
be right
on.
back.
Red button.
Donnie D from DOA and Misguided Fishing. Check it out. TW's got everything you need to catch all the fishes. The rods, the reels, string, baits, from all the guys that make that stuff. Shimano, Daiwa, Penn, St. Croix, Yoseria, Meat Hawk, etc., etc., etc. You want to look fly when you're doing all that catching? They got you covered with gear from Salty Crew, Pelagic, Extra Tough, and more. You got questions? Ask away. TW's is staffed by people who fish every chance they get. They got their finger on the pulse of Outer Banks fishing. I haven't even scratched the surface of this place. It's like a toy store for grown-ups. So check out TW's Bait and Tackle in Nags Head, the Outer Banks' largest tackle shop. Milepost 10. And now, back to Misguided Fishing.
Shit,
there
you
is.
think? There's a,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
There's,
I really can't say anything because I haven't been doing it that long.
how many? When did you get in it? I just remember when.
This will be my 6th season.
Veteran. The big,
Maybe
big,
maybe 6. Yeah.
the big one happened. I mean, it was just a couple of years ago. I mean, Reese calls them. He calls them the COVID fleet. It was like everybody
Right.
had a lot of time on their hands and
Yeah.
got a bunch of free money for down payments.
Yeah.
I got dogs.
You bought dogs?
Yeah, I bought dogs, not a boat.
I didn't buy it. I don't remember what I bought. I bought stock and managed to lose most of it right away. So chose poorly again.
Yeah, but that's when we got the aficionado. Was the summer after the fall of 2020, because I'd come home from Colombia, got sent home from Colombia, didn't have anything to do.
What do you mean you got sent home from Colombia? That sounds like you got suspended.
No, well, I mean, because of COVID.
Oh,
I mean, we were down there. My parents came, and we're sitting down there like hearing about it on the news out in the middle of the jungle, and my boss calls me. He's like, "Hey, you got to get out. They're like shutting down the world." And they called a King Air came and picked me up because the flights quit coming in and out. A King Air came and picked me up. I flew into some little like narco looking airport in Medellin. Taxi picked me up there, and I'll never forget. I got to the airport in Medellin.
were you done doing cocaine then?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nothing. It's just like
It was just one of those airports that like you see on the movies. You know what I mean? Like had all the little planes in the hangar and stuff like that.
I'm in Medellin with nothing to do for months, and you're going. I'm fucking sober now. It sucks.
No. Well, so but the taxi came and got me, and there was a flight out to Miami, like the last one out, and I got on that plane, and I'll never forget there were all these Argentina had closed down, and there were all these Argentinian tourists in the airport, just sitting there, not knowing what they were going to do. And I flew into Miami, and there was no one in the airport. It was crazy.
Really?
Yep. And flew back to Norfolk that night with no, I had to stay the night. I had a
kilo.
buddy in Miami, and then the next morning it was me and 4 flight attendants on the plane back to Norfolk.
With a kilo for
No,
Medellin.
You
God,
probably could
Come
have.
It would have been a
Tell the
good
story.
time to
Make
bring
the-
it though, wouldn't
make the
it?
story
But
better.
I think everybody was worried about sharing straws and everything then, you know what I mean? So like, I mean, I don't know if that would have been the best time to sell a respiratory substance, but
All right, can we get back? We're going off the rails.
you started it as usual.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. Tell us. Well, Jack, we don't care about Jack. Jack caught some trout. He's proud of it. Do you need to tell
Only
us again?
one.
Do you need to tell us again?
Only one.
3.5 to 4 pounders, of course.
Yeah,
all
I
of
never
them.
catch that.
All of them. 3.5 to 4.
They were
pounders.
they were nice ones. They were
I
nice
never
ones.
catch
3.5, 4 pounders.
They were studs.
All 16 inches up.
They were studs. Calvin Peel was with us. He can testify. They were nice ones.
I got it. That's
We were
cool.
surprised. We were like, how are these big trout? We'd fished there a couple days before and caught like 16 inches.
Where was this? I'll
it's-
let you know if that's
It's like on the bank
if that's where I need to. You need
across
to be.
from like it's like if you look back towards Wanchese.
Send me a pin.
It's like straight across from the water tower or the cell tower in Wanchese.
Next to that duck blind?
No. There's no duck. No, it's up against
He's
the
not
bank.
catching on, is he?
Yeah.
It's right up against the bank.
Next to that duck blind
Oh,
with all
dude,
the brush
dude,
on it. It has a ladder next to it. With a boat hide.
No, we tried that
That's the one.
spot. We tried that spot. We didn't catch
I
anything.
fucked up and asked Reese to send me a pin the other day, not thinking that he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. I said, "You have Google Earth?" I don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, come on, man. Let me send you one. I sent him one. He didn't understand it, man. I can't.
Yeah.
Dude, dinosaur.
I could have sent you a pin that day.
I like pins.
I haven't been back since. So I think it was just a fluke.
It's so easy to help your friends out.
Yeah. And now with Starlink, I can send you a pin on my
I'm fucking sucking that dude off, man.
on my 6 mile.
You managed to put that in this show every time we're on here.
Well, see, look, I'm
Tell us
excited.
all about it. Tell us all the people you texted the other day and all the phone live video you shot.
Yeah, dude,
that's his
it's
thing.
awesome.
That's his thing now. They can offshore. They can do live.
Streaming?
Yeah, like
Yeah, because we got Starlink.
we
Really?
have cell phones. We've been doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah, but this year is going to be the year of the inshore grass line, I think, because there's a lot of grass coming. They say. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
weather,
Like shots.
even the Weather Channel was reporting on it the other day.
Yeah.
Down there in Florida.
Another reason I'm
the
happy
blob.
I'm not downstairs.
I mean, dude, there's grass from the Gulf of Mexico to Africa. They say,
Yeah.
and it's just coming. And a buddy of mine lives in Lauderdale, and he's posting videos up every couple of days of just, I mean, like it's like knee deep on the beach in Lauderdale right now.
I bet it smells
And I
bad.
bet it smells bad. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in that grass.
Yeah, a lot of dead things.
Yeah,
A
trash,
lot of
and I mean, there's
crustaceans.
trash
Well,
and there's
just,
grass,
you know,
and
little
there's
seahorses,
little
crabs,
critters.
and all kinds of stuff.
All right, giveaway time.
Okay,
Giveaway time.
we got a reel,
We have a reel. We think
not an Instagram reel, a
Another
fishing reel.
Fishing reel from TW's. Brian's gonna give us a question. Questions worked really good to have lots of numbers in them.
Lots of numbers.
Well, just better than like Jack's question. We learned the hard way when he asked, "What's the most white marlin he ever caught?" And it was 3. And
It was not.
somebody had to guess.
well, I have one for blue marlin, but
I know you told me it's the most you've ever. Go ahead and say it. I'm not gonna give it away.
Don't say the answer.
no.
What's the question?
What's the most blue marlin I've seen in one day?
All right.
Seen.
Seen
So
Okay, encounters.
behind my boat. Not my boat, but when I was in the cockpit.
Where was it?
Cape Verde.
Oh, okay.
oh, so you're giving
So,
hints. You're
it was
giving
probably
hints.
a good day.
I'm never giving. I would never give hints.
Yeah.
All right. So you know how it works, man. How
Man,
many-
and so you would have been at Cape. That would have been in the early days.
Yeah, there was only 2 of us there.
God. Oh,
Adam and the hooker. Well, the hooker
yeah.
and us.
Oh man. Were you with Peter B?
Yeah.
And who was your angler? Did you have Stewart, or was it
No, I
were
didn't
y'all
have Stewart.
running charters?
Yeah, we were running charters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
we were there for 4 months.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've only been once. I'm just all I want is to go
I
back.
don't even know where it is. You have to drop me a pin.
That's where all the hurricanes start.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the windiest place
Let's-
I've ever been.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's always rough?
It was rough.
I would have been thrown up.
Unless you were in the lee.
I'd have
Yeah.
been seasick.
But sometimes they do get in the lee, and then it's
Yeah,
calm.
yeah, you can get in the lee, but man, what a rough place.
Yep.
Bent 2 riggers, blew the bow hatches out, and all that shit.
It's not fun.
No,
I told my Cape Verde story on here, didn't I? About
No.
the embarrassing story.
No. Please tell me the Cape Verde story. But let's
Oh.
hold on. Let's get the question out there one more time.
Okay.
Most blue marlin Brian's ever seen in one day. He gave the hint of Cape Verde, so you know it's probably more than 3.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be.
You think more than 3? More than 2.
Yeah, because when I was there, we had a lot of bites one day, and that was with a lot of boats.
All right. We'll get to it. Send the answer. I'll do a little video for it. We're good. All right. Please tell us your story because I know you're dying. You have not. You tried to slide trout in here tonight so you could bang on your chest.
So we were on the hooker. I was on the hooker. I went over to ride out. I bought a plane ticket. I wanted to learn about marlin fishing. So I bought my Charles Perry. I said, where do I need to go to see some marlins? Because I'd never seen a blue marlin. And he said, go to Cape Verde. I don't think he took me too seriously. And I went home that night and I bought a plane ticket. And I called him and I said, I got my ticket. Now what? And so he said, he hooked me up with Zach Conde. Went over to ride out with Zach. Steve Hall was over there working for him, who I did not know, had no idea he was from here. Anyway, but along the way, I met the other guys. I got to fish on the Dreamin' On one day, and then James Roberts was running the hooker at the time with Andy Moyes in the cockpit, and so and every day, like I mean, Andy was making the lures, kind of new making the lures, and James Roberts was the only captain maybe ever to catch 2 granders in the same day or something. So I'm like, I got to go fishing with these guys, and so finally, one day I show up at the dock, and Zach had to take a day off or something, and I just show up, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope they take me. And James was like, all right, come on. And so when you come out at it would be Sal Vicente, when you come out and you take a right to fish in between the 2 islands where it's rough, and you got to go between those rocks.
Sal Vicente and Santo and Tal.
Yeah. And there's like these 2 rocks. It's almost like crossing the bar. You got to go between these 2 rocks, and it's blowing 40, and the current's ripping through there, and it's rough. I don't know what I'd eaten the day before, but all of a sudden, I mean, it was like immediate freaking I got to go. And the head on that boat, on the GNS boats, is all the way up forward, And in the evenings, we had a African kid named Wilson, and he would open the hatches and just crack them open all over the boat to dry it out, whatever. It was a charter boat at that time. And anyway, so right about the time we're coming through this crossing, I'm up there and I'm just letting her fly, man. And just being emptied out by some kind of Cape Verde soup that I ate the night before.
I know what you mean.
And we get to this crossing, and it's like 6-foot waves breaking all different directions. And I'm in there and I'm sitting and I'm like sweating, and it's hot. And all of a sudden the bow rears up, and it comes down, and the next one, it rears up so hard. I look up, the hatch flies open. I fly up in the air. I'm upside down. There's toilet papers everywhere, and the bow comes down, and I can see my shit is also in the air. And I look up, and the bow dips down, and everything, including a giant plume of salt water, all comes down on top of me. And so the toilet paper is all unrolled all over me. I'm covered in my own shit. And
first day,
I'm soaked with fucking salt water. And I came out of there and they looked at me. I looked like somebody TP'd me with toilet paper. And I came out of there and they looked at me and they all just started dying laughing. I'll never forget it. And then
that sucks.
That's another shit story.
Yeah, I know. But I thought it was a pretty good one.
That is a good one. I can't believe you haven't told me that before.
Yeah. So, but I'll never forget. I was mid-air. She was bucking so hard. God, it's a rough damn place.
It's terrible rough.
Did you catch anything else besides marlins there? Oh!
Do we need to pause?
No, we'll keep rolling without it.
Yeah, wahoos. Occasional wahoo, right? But not much else. Occasional tuna.
Yeah, inshore fishery.
A lot of parrotfish around the edges, but the rest of it looked like it was just desolate,
Yeah. It looks like a post-apocalyptic landscape. Yeah. It's dry. It's amazing hurricanes come out of there.
No vegetation.
Yeah. It's desert. Beautiful, but rugged.
Cool little place.
Never been there. Didn't know it was till you just told me. All right, what else are we going to talk about?
Fishing report? What you guys been catching?
Not telling. Reds, red drum, puppy drum.
Any trout yet? Any trout?
Yeah, did good on a trout the other day. That was good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trout up here, up this way.
Yeah,
up in the northern parts of the sound, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think a couple guys have
run up here.
Yeah, had some good fishing up here. So
yeah, big ones too, I hear.
3.5, 4 pounders, every one of them.
I'm hearing about like 20. People are screaming 28 inches is the new thing.
3 to 4 pounders.
I'm happy with
that. I told you it was only one time.
Only because I don't use the right baits.
We were using popping corks.
I've got those. I don't have any of the high dollar baits.
Actually, it didn't matter what you threw that day.
Is that right? All right. Let's see. We've talked. Anything else we got to talk about?
Yeah, I got to give an offshore report.
Oh my God! Nobody gives a fuck.
All right, fine. I won't.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Tell us. I know you've been really patient today.
The tuna fishing's good. Yellowfins started to show up.
I like yellowfin.
Yep. There's some in my fridge. You guys want a bag each? I can give you guys a bag each before you leave. Because if you don't eat it,
I won't turn it down because I eat it raw.
Okay. I think it's still all right. We fished Tuesday. Is that too late? I usually feed it to my dogs because I don't like it.
You don't eat it?
No.
Really?
Yep. No. I'm tuning it out. Just like you got over it, man.
Yeah.
I'm tuning it out, bro. I've had enough.
I think the sharks drove me out of it.
Yeah. We got lucky last year. They weren't bad last year.
The sharks drove me out.
Maybe y'all went somewhere where they weren't.
That was definitely the case at the beginning. The tuna showed up above where the sharks are, and it was like they tricked them. It was like that they missed them. They showed up above them, and so we had great fish in there. But then, I mean, even when we got back down to the point later in the summer, as long as you stayed inside the 100, they wouldn't get you, believe it or not. Which usually it's the opposite. But if you stayed inside the 100, they would not get you. I mean, you could be right on the edge of the freaking 100, and they wouldn't get you. But if you got a millimeter over on your plot line, it was like they were going to eat you up.
Really?
Yep. And then by early to mid July, it didn't matter where you were, you wouldn't get messed with. Kite fishing or long baits or anything down the point, and you wouldn't have a problem. Occasional one or two, like always, but nothing crazy. So hopefully we have more of that this year.
Did you see the that reel the other day? That dude on the kayak? Was that in Hatteras?
I didn't see it.
I saw the blackfin jiggers down there.
No, that guy on a kayak is on a kayak. The guys are yelling at him behind him. There's a big critter behind him, and while he's in his kayak, his reel's all backlashed, and he's trying to pull it out, and he's got a fish on. At the end of the video, he's just nothing floating, but the back half of the fish floating on the surface there.
Was it a gray white or was it just a regular?
Just
one?
like a big old whatever Hatteras shark.
Yeah.
Travis told me the sandbars are ass deep on the point right
I'm
now.
guessing that's what it was. It was.
He said they're big sandbars, and there's a lot of them. So if you want to catch a shark, there's a good place to go.
It's a long run.
Yeah, but people are into that, man. You see those people with the fighting chairs on their dog box. So they got their deer dogs in the bottom and their shark gear up top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing.
I'm sure it is, man. Kayaking baits, that's a thing too. It's a thing. It's 250 horsepower. That's a thing, man. So I can be on a boat.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't have to wade it. I don't have to stand on the beach.
We're gonna get you out there this spring, Don.
No interest whatsoever. I really don't. I got that phone call the other night. Come on, let's go to the point, go drum fishing. I have no interest, dude.
Yeah, I'd lost that too. I used to be out there, my truck and all my rods.
Well, you lived in Hatteras, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I was out there all the time, and then I don't know, man. I got over it. I was like,
I love seeing them.
Catch them in a boat.
I
now.
love seeing them. I love casting to
Seeing
them.
Yes.
In a boat.
Yeah.
Not having some guy cast over me with a heaver and just me.
Well,
me.
I mean, yesterday, trout fishing in the surf. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I was out there with no shirt on, getting some sun, standing knee deep in cold water where it kind of felt good because it was so cold. It was a nice way to spend the afternoon.
Any 3-4 pounders or?
All of them.
No, mine was about 2.5.
Oh. It was a beautiful day yesterday. It was sunny. And the water was 69 in the sound, and they were frothing.
Yeah.
They were happy.
Did you see 69? I saw 67.
I had 68, and then jumped up to 69.
That's great.
It was really
That's
cool.
great.
It was really cool. They're probably the same fish I've been looking at all. They just decided to eat because it got warm.
It's going to be cold
And there was
again after this.
bait yesterday.
Oh, man. You know what that motherfucker said yesterday?
What?
Reese?
Who?
When I reference that motherfucker, that's usually who I'm talking about.
Reese.
He goes,
I got you.
because he got some kids. He goes, man, I probably should anchor up and throw bait. I said, you fucking kidding me, dude? We're drifting through these things, casting to them. You're not setting your anchor and throwing bait.
Yeah, this was, setting up like we usually do in the fall
Yeah.
or summertime.
Not in the middle of a couple of boats sight casting to them.
Right. Yeah.
I got kids, man. This will be.
Well, why can't you just, if you got kids, can you hook them and pass them the pole?
I do.
Is that frowned upon?
No.
I mean, not at the end of the trip, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you have anglers that want to cast to and catch their own fish, that's great, good, let them do it. But if you have kids, all a kid wants to do is reel a fish in.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than, taking a charter out,
hooking the marlin and passing them the rod.
Having 20 bites, and you're like, hey guys, you probably should let the mate hook your fish, or you're going to wind up with not much.
Yeah.
Right?
But I always would start off my day with, if there was white marlins around, with, would you guys like to get involved and try and hook some? And most of the time they would say, absolutely not. You pass us the rod because we want to catch them. You know what I mean? But, but the point is, if if you got, especially little kids, they just want to feel the tug, you know?
It didn't happen. He didn't do it.
He didn't bait fish? He didn't anchor up?
He ended up catching them the right way.
Okay, good job, Reese.
When he got in yesterday, he had to take his boat to Ricky again. Did you know this? Did you talk to him?
Yeah.
He didn't have a skeg. He just got a skeg guard put on and he lost his whole skeg.
Yeah, I got the story.
I'm sure you did. I got it again today.
He's a beauty. Does he still wear the Velcro shoes?
Yeah.
Or is he just on the slides?
Oh, dude, he wears these high tops. He sell them at Kmart or Walmart. No, they're and ones. That's the brand. And he wears different ones. He bought 2 pairs.
He's never got matching socks on either, ever.
Come
He's
on.
always got 2 different pairs, 2 different socks on.
Like fake leather tennis shoes. And
He had those pumps one time. Remember the pumps where you could pump them up? He used to wear pumps.
I don't remember. No, he would never spend the money for pumps, man.
Maybe somebody
But,
gave it to
but
him.
these shoes look like they were made in '89, like the pumps were. And he wears like a one black one and one white one or something because he thinks it gives him good luck.
Really?
You got to talk to him about the and ones.
If you get after him about his footwear selection, he'll go into quite a little spiel. He'll tell you all about it. And it's very interesting.
Well, I'm never over there to see.
Oh man.
Talk to him.
I talked to him, and
When I was working for Bobby, it was just great because he would always come in and he'd always be like this. And so he was mad about something every single day. And I'd just look and be like, hey man, like, did you lose your other sock? You know? And then he God damn it, and he'd walk away.
Yeah, he's special.
He is. I love him.
All right, man. We're gonna run out of the thing we run out of. Usually it goes black, and then we're down one light already. You got anything else you want to talk about? Your wealth of information. This is your
no, I don't really have anything else.
all the
to talk about.
3.5, 4 pound trout you catch every down.
Shut up, guys.
Yeah.
They were.
By that duck blind.
Yeah.
It wasn't by a duck blind. It was on
By
the
the marsh bank.
It was up by the marsh bank.
Next to the duck blind with the boat hide. And
There's a little bit of grass over here.
But we had to cross a shallow shoal with duck blinds on
I
it.
can't believe that. You really?
Yep.
that definitely narrows it down.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get out of here. Brian King, Realistic Fishing. Check him out on the Instagrams. You can find him anywhere. Highliner. Jack,
Aficionado.
Donnie D, DOA. Check us out. Misguided Fishing Podcast. YouTube. Spotify.
And Apple Podcasts.
All right.
Hit it.
Misguided Fishing has been brought to you by TW's Bait and Tackle, Nag's Head. Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll see you next time.